Hello everyone. Today our topic is water quantities requirement, that is water demand. In the chapter we will discuss about the demand of water for the public. Not only for public, we have various demands to meet the need. Okay, so we will discuss in the particular chapter. Here you can see one guy is trying to collect the water in particular vessel in a container, like from the tap, one drop by drop he is collecting. Okay, due to he is facing lot of problem, water scarcity problem. In some other areas, few people are provided security guards for the water tanker. Okay, for nobody would uh, don't do the robbery. Nobody is don't try to collect the water in this particular water tanker. Why? Because there is a lot of scarcity is there. Okay, this person trying to pull the secure water supply rabbit out of the hat. It must be in here somewhere. So he is collecting some water in this particular pipeline. He is also damn scarcity problem facing. Okay, so this is the future water security. We can see in the future, if we don't conserve the water, if we don't save the water, definitely in the future we will see this kind of situation. uh, Here one guy is trying to collect drop by drop in a container. You can see here your grandpa generation. During the your grandpa generation, there was a water table is much higher due to no pollution. During that generation, there is no more population and industrialization. All these things are not happened in 2 3 generations ago. That is why here they are using small kind of rope or thread to pull out the water. It is tied with a bucket. Okay, after one generation, in your father's generation, the well happened like this. uh, the groundwater table become less compare with your grandpa generation. It reduced from this level to this level. So they have to dig the well much more deeper, and they have to collect the water with more length of the thread or rope. In the next generation, that is your generation, that due to population and industrialization, urbanization, modernization, we are wasting the lot of water. Okay, so due to the circumstances and due to that reasons, the water table drastically reduced from that place to from here to here. Okay, so you are going towards the earth core or mantle or crust, whatever it is. Okay, you are going deeper and deeper to collect the water in the bucket. For that, you have to use more length of the thread or rope. Okay, so this is the scenario going since 3 4 generations. But definitely, if we don't conserve the water, if we don't save the water, in the future we will face lot of problems. For that, as an environmental engineer or a civil engineer, you should design a proper water supply scheme for town or city. Okay, so here you see one guy is trying to collect the drop by drop water which is coming through pipe. Okay, he is also facing lot of problem with water. But in other case, few people are wasting lot of water. here from this tap water is flowing like waterfall like waterfall. Okay, this guy is trying to swimming in the particular water due to wastage. Okay, so few people are wasting water, few people are trying to collect the water drop by drop. This is the scenario is going on. So we have to balance and we have to conserve the water, and we should supply safe and proper quality water to the people. We should meet the other demands also. So like we have different types of demands. Okay, so here you can see for especially in the villages also the water must and should to cultivate the crops. If they don't supply the water, definitely the crop will not give the proper yield, and it will leads to the burden to the farmers. Okay, so in the rural area for farmers also it is very crucial thing. Okay, this guy is asking vote for my cousin, else I will cut my water supply. Okay, he is trying to uh, um, asking the vote. Okay, otherwise he will cut the water supply. This guy also trying rainfall drop by drop. Okay, this guy is trying to collect the rain drop by drop in the particular vessel. He doesn't have any natural resource or surface resource or subsurface resource. Resources means you know very well, infiltration wells, infiltration galleries. Okay, all these things are comes under subsurface sources. Surface sources means rivers, streams, ponds, lakes. All these things are surface sources. Already subsurface source means groundwater table. It will be useful by groundwater table. Already it was depleted. Due to a lot of depletion, there is water scarcity and shortage of water. He is trying only rainwater. Okay, so like this we have to um, understand the scenario which is going in the future. So that is why we have to study few things. Okay, as an environmental engineer you should know few things, that is water demand, types of demand, factors affecting per capita demand, waste and losses variations in the demand, design periods, population forecasting methods and problems. So you know all these things. Okay, while you are designing a water supply scheme for a particular city or municipality, you should keep it in your mind all these things. Okay, uh, first of all, as a role of designer, now you become an environmental engineer or water supply engineer. You have to design a water supply scheme. For that, what you have to do, you have to first identify the amount of water availability. You have to identify the amount of water availability. Then you have to find out the water demand by the people. You have to find out the water demand by the people. Next one is we have various types of water demands. In that one, first one is total annual volume in liters or million liters. So this is total annual volume in liters or million liters. Next one is annual average rate of draft in liters per day. That is per volume per 365 days. Okay, that is annual average rate of draft. Annual average rate of draft in liters per day per person. Annual average rate of draft in liters per day per person called per capita demand. It is the important thing for one more question. Okay, what is mean by per capita demand or define per capita demand, which means the average consumption or the person who is consuming the water. Okay, in liters per day. Okay, that is called, that demand is called per capita demand. Annual average rate of draft in liters per day per person is called per capita demand. Average rate of draft in liters per day per service, that is volume per 365 days. Volume per 365 days. If you see, uh, in the fluctuations in flow expressed in terms of percentage ratios of maximum yearly, monthly, daily or hourly rates to their corresponding average values. Fluctuations in the flows expressed in terms of percentage ratios. You can see the different various variance in the variance of the water demand. Especially in the summer, you can see the one type of demand. In the winter, you can see the one other type of demand. Okay, if you see the morning session, you will identify one type of demand. In the afternoon session, you will identify the different types of demand. So it may fluctuate, okay, from season to season, day to day, time to time. So all these things are, we should keep it in your mind. These all are various water demand. Water quantity estimation. How do you estimate the water quantity? How do you estimate the water quantity? Which means, it was now suppose there are 100 people in a village. There are 100 people in a village. So how do you supply the water for that 100 people in that particular village? For them, you have to calculate the per capita demand. How much of water will be consumed by one person in one day in liters? That is per capita demand. Okay, there are 100 members. 100 means if one person will be utilized 135 liters per day, then automatically how much it will become? 100 people, 100 people into 135 liters. 135 liters. Then finally what will happen? Here, just a minute. Let us see. There are 100 people in a village. In a village, 100 people are there. Each person will be utilized or use 135 liters per day. 135 liters per day. Then for them, you have to construct 13,500 liters capacity of the 13,500 liters capacity of the tank. Then the tank will be survive that the tank will be used for the 100 people per day. Okay now. So you have to design water tank like this. One person is consuming 135 liters per day. There are total 1000 members. So finally you have to they are using 13,500 liters per day. So for them, the entire village, you have to construct this much capacity of the water tank or service reservoir. Okay, so this is the estimation scenario. The quantity of water required for municipal uses for which the water supply scheme has to be designed require following data. For if you want to design the water supply scheme for a municipality, you have to use some data, especially water consumption rate, that is per capita demand in liters per day per head, that is 135 liters. Example, this is example. Okay, population to be served, that is 100 members in a village or municipality, per day per person 135 liters consuming. Okay, then total quantity how do you will get? Per capita demand, that is 135 liters per 135 liters per day, population 100, you will get total quantity, that is 13,500 liters. Okay, next, water consumption rate. How they, how do you find out the water consumption rate? It may, it will be very difficult to assess the quantity of water demanded by the public, since there are many variable factors affecting water consumption. Okay, it is very difficult to find out the to assess the quantity of water demanded by the public. Few people will drink less amount of water, few people drink regularly or periodically, every 1 hour or every half an hour. Okay, few people use they will wash the clothes, wash the hands regularly, they will bath daily, twicely. Okay, few people they don't do even single day. Okay, once they don't take the shower. Certain thumb for that we have certain thumb rules and empirical formulas used to assess the this quantity. So how do you find out the quantity, or how do you assess the quantity? We have some certain thumb rules and empirical formulas. With the help of those empirical formulas we will be find out, we will discuss in the next chapter or after few slides, all those things. Particular method or formula for particular case has to be decided by intelligence and foresightness of the designer. If the designer is very skillful and very talented, then he will decide which kind of formula will be fit for that type of demand. Okay, he will use perfect formula and he will design the water supply scheme and assess the quantity of water. There are various types of water demands in a city. First one is domestic water demand. We have domestic water demand, industrial water demand, institution and commercial water demand, demand for public uses, fire demand, water required to compensate losses in wastes and thefts. So we have a lot of demands. Especially first we should keep it in your mind. These are all are important for 3 marks. Domestic water demand. Let us see what is meant by domestic demand. Next, industrial water demand. Then institutional and commercial water demand, demand for public uses, fire demand, water required to compensate losses in wastes and thefts. We should consider the wastes and losses also. Few people make a hole, some pipeline is going through a village or some tribal area, they want water, they don't have any source, even though there is a source, but there is no water availability. So what he will do, he go and make a hole and collect the water. He never fill that hole, he never close that hole. Automatically that water will goes out through that particular hole or pipeline. That is a huge loss. Okay, so we should keep it in your mind all those wastes and thefts also. Here you can see the domestic demand. Whatever we are using for household or in the home, the water we are using for entire house cleaning, drinking, car washing, laundry, kitchen, all these things are comes under domestic demand. Okay, here one person, small kid is drinking water, small kid taking shower or bath. She is also taking bath. Here preparing food or cleaning the vessels, all those things. This guy going shit, taking the shower, washing clothes, flushing system, all those things are comes under domestic demand. Gardening, car washing, okay, gardening, landscaping, car washing, these all are comes under domestic water demand. Water is required in the houses for drinking, bathing, cooking, washing, lawn sprinkling, gardening, sanitary purpose, etc. Just now you have seen all those things. Mainly depends upon the habits, social status, climatic conditions, and customs of the people. This domestic demand is depends on mainly habits. Few people regularly they wash their hands. They regularly wash them, clean the face, and they do bath twicely. Okay, that depends upon habits and social status. If you see the rich people, they use more water compared with poor people. Okay, climatic conditions in summer, hot summer, the people will use more amount of water for drinking purpose. Okay, for bathing they use more amount of water. In the winter session they use minimum amount of water, less water. Customs of the people, so it depends upon people custom. So these are the various factors which are involving for domestic water demand. As per IS 1172 1963, under normal conditions, the domestic consumption of water in India is about 135 liters. Yeah. Domestic consumption of water in India is without flushing system is 135 liters. This is for weaker sections, lower income groups, not for rich. They will use 135 liters. They will bring the water in one bucket with same bucket amount of water. They will clean the all vessels. Okay, if you see the in rich people, they will use more amount of water to clean the vessels and containers. For them, full flushing, 200 liters per capita per day. Okay. For higher income groups, they will use full flushing system. They will use. The weaker section they don't use flushing system. That is why they were allocated 135 liters as per this code. We have to keep it in your mind. IS 1172 1963, 135 liters for lower income groups or without flushing system. With flush system, 200 liters per day per capita. This is very important bit for the prospective of ESET or other competitive examinations. Okay. If you analyze that, how do you get the 200 liters per day per capita with flushing system? For drinking, they were allotted 5 liters. For drinking, 5 liters per person per day. Okay, for cooking, 5 liters. For bathing, 75 liters. Clothes washing, 25 liters. Utensil washing, 15 liters. House washing, 15 liters. Flushing of water closets, etc., 45 liters. Lawn watering and gardening, 15 liters. So if you add all these things, you will get 200 liters per day per capita. This is the domestic water demand with flushing system. If you see the weaker section and lower income group section without flushing system, for drinking 5 liters, cooking 5 liters, bathing 55 liters, clothes washing 20 liters, utensil washing 10 liters, house washing 10 liters, flushing of water, closets, etc. 30 liters. If you add all these things, you will get 135 liters per day per capita. Okay, so this is the procedure. If you see the total domestic water consumption usually accounts to 50 to 60% of total water consumption. The IS code lays down a limit on domestic water consumption between 135 to 225 liters per head per day. If you suppose to take the total consumption of water is 1000 liters, in that 1000 liters for domestic water, for domestic usage is 50 to 60%. Okay, on an average, if you take the consumption, it is domestic water consumption is between 135 to 225 liters per head per day. If you see in developed countries like USA, the affluent country like USA, this figure is usually goes as high 340 liters per head per day. If you take in India, that is developing country, 135 to 225 liters. If you see the developed country, 340 liters per head per day. This is because more water is consumed in rich living, in air cooling, bathing, in bathtubs, dishwashing of utensils, car washing, home laundries, garbage grinders, etc. Lot of factors which are influencing. Okay, those lifestyle is different, our lifestyle is different. That is why they are using more amount of water, 340 liters per hour per head per day. How do you calculate the domestic water demand? Domestic water demand equal to design population into per capita domestic demand. Per capita domestic demand, how much? 135 liters in unflushed area. If you take the flushed area, 200 liters per capita per day. Okay, design population, the population of the particular city. You multiply these two things, you will get the domestic water demand. You see, these all are comes under the domestic water demand. Next, industrial. You see in the industrial demand, industrial water demand. How do you get water demand of existing or likely to be started industries in near future? Okay, already existed are likely to be started. How much of water demanding by the industries, that we have to find out. Already existed industries are likely to establish or start in industries. Okay, this quantity vary with types and number of industries which are existing in the city. These quantity vary with type and number of industries which are existing in the city. If you suppose to take the Hyderabad, there is a different scenario. If you take the Warangal, Vijayawada, Vizag, okay, Karimnagar, there is another kind of situation you can see. Per capita consumption on account of industrial needs is generally taken as 50 liters per head per day. Per capita consumption on account of industrial needs is generally taken as 50 liters per head per day. This is for industrial demand, you should keep it in your mind. Mostly they will ask in the competitive exam domestic demand, not industrial demand. In some cases they can ask. In industrial city, this demand may be as high 450 liters per capita per day. In industrial city, few cities you can identify as a industrial city. In those cities, the demand may vary as 450 liters per capita per day. The water required by factories, paper mills, cloth mills, cotton mills, beverages, sugar refineries, etc. comes under this industrial use. What are the factories, what are the industries will be comes under the industrial demand, like all these things: factories, paper mills, cloth mills, cotton mills, breweries, beverages, sugar refineries comes under the industrial use. The quantity of water demand for industrial purpose is around 20 to 25%. 50 to 60% is domestic purpose, 20 to 25% is industrial purpose out of total demand of the city. Total demand of the city. Automobiles 40 kiloliters per vehicle. How much of water you have to use for automobiles? 40 kiloliters per vehicle. If you see the paper industry, per ton of the paper, okay, 1000 kgs of paper, you have to use 200 to 400 kiloliters of water. For petroleum refinery, per ton 1 to 2 kiloliters of ton of crude oil. Steel 200 to 250 kiloliters per ton. Distillery water, distillery 122 to 170 kiloliters. Textile 80 to 140 kiloliters per ton of goods. Especially quality paper, if you want to use the you want to manufacture the good quality paper, for them it requires more amount of water, approximately 400 to 1000 kiloliters per ton. 400 to 1000 kiloliters per ton. Okay, so all these things are not important for your competitive exams, but you should keep it in your mind just for idea. Okay, next one is institution and commercial demand. Institution buildings, what are the buildings are comes under the institutional and commercial buildings? Universities, institutions, universities, schools like coaching centers, all these things are comes under institution. Commercial buildings and commercial centers including office buildings, government, private, all the office buildings, warehouses, okay, stores, hotels, shopping centers, health centers, schools, temple, cinema house, railway and bus stations comes under this category. So already you have studied in your construction practice or building material subject all this classification of the buildings. Okay, so these all are comes under the institutional buildings or commercial buildings. On an average, this value is taken as 20 liters per head per day. For institutional or commercial buildings, how much on an average? 20 liters per hour per head per day. And for highly commercialized cities, it may be 50 liters per capita per day. For highly commercial cities, 50 liters per capita per day. Okay, individuals water requirements, if you see, for offices 45 to 90 liters per head per day. If you see the for offices 45 to 90 liters per head per day. For hostels 135 to 180 liters per head per day. For restaurants single seat, for single seat 70 liters per head per day. For schools, day schools 45 to 90. For residential schools 135 to 225. For factories where bathrooms, if there are bathrooms 45 to 90. If there are no bathrooms 30 to 60 liters per head per day. Okay, for hospitals less than 100 beds, small hospitals, those are less than 100 beds, 340 liters per bed. If beds are more than 300, there 450 per head. Nurses homes and medical quarters 135 to 225 liters per head per day. For cinema halls 15 liters. For airports 70 liters. Railway station 23 to 70 liters per head per day. These all are not important for your exam point of view, but whenever while you are designing the project, water supply scheme project for municipality or metropolitan city, then you have to consider all these things. Okay, then only you will get an idea how much of demand is there, how do you then how we design the water supply scheme for that particular demand. Okay, if you see the public use or gardening, this is also demand, public use gardening. If there is if in Hyderabad or some urban areas, the municipal people come and they will um, watering the gardens. Okay, watering to the garden and sprinkle the water to the some little bit of and little bit grass, okay, for beautification, all those things. That is also one demand for water fountains. You can see these kind of water fountains especially in the circles, like junctions, okay, especially in the junctions or intersection points on highway or in city islands, okay. All these things are for beautification of the city. Street sweeping, the municipal people come and clean the streets, roads, okay. For them also we have to consider the water demand. All those things are comes under demand for public use. The quantity of water required for public utility purposes such as for washing and sprinkling on roads, cleaning of sewers, watering of public parks, gardens, public fountains, etc., comes under the public demand. To meet the water demand for public use, provision of 5% of the total consumption. So how much they should aside keep aside? 5% for public use, for domestic 50 to 60%, okay. A figure of 10 liters per capita per day is usually added. For public use, how much they are adding? 10 liters per capita per day. The requirements of water for public utility shall be taken as: for public parks 1.4 liters per square meter per day, 1.4 liters per day per square meter. If you see the public parks, public gardens, okay, if you want to improve the garden, or okay, for square kilometer, sorry, square meter area, we should keep aside 1.4 liters. For street washing, 1 to 1.5 liters per square meter per day. For sewer cleaning also, sewerage system also is there in the urban area. For that, 4.5 liters per head per day we should keep aside, okay, sewer cleaning. Next one is fire demand. In sort of some cities, due to concrete jungle and some restaurants and hostels, hospitals, you can already you have seen in the news, there are several fire accidents happening. Okay, so for that fire accidents, we have to keep aside some sort of water, that is fire demand, okay. To prevent that fire accidents, we should provide some amount of water in that particular municipality or in the particular city, that is fire demand, okay. During the fire breakdown, large quantity of water is required for throwing it over the fire to extinguish it. Therefore, provision is made in the water work to supply sufficient quantity of water or keep as a reserve in the water mains for this purpose. During the fire breakdown time, we need large quantity of water required for throwing it over the fire to extinguish it. Therefore, provision is made in the water work to supply sufficient quantity of water to keep as a reserve in the water mains for this purpose. Fire hydrants are usually fitted in water mains at about 100 to 150 meters apart, and firefighting pumps is fitted to in the case of fire. So already you have seen in the cinema theaters or in commercial complexes, they will provide some firefighting things, okay, at the corners or on the walls, okay. Same as it is for municipality, the government will provide 100 to 150 meters head, or 100 to 150 meters water mains will provide, okay. These are the fire hydrants. When fire breakdowns, then these guys, firemen will come and with the 100 to 150 meters pressure, they will throw the water on the particular fire. Okay, the pumps throw water at very high pressure. Pressure available at fire hydrants be on the order of 100 to 150 kilonewton per meter square. This required greater pressure. Otherwise, the fire will not be cool. Okay, the 100 to 150 kilonewton per square meter pressure is required to throw the water on the particular fire to minimize the intensity of fire. Okay, fire accident should be maintained even after 4 to 5 hours at constant use. Okay, you should provide the water to throw with 100 to 150 kilonewton per square meter intensity of pressure up to 4 to 5 hours at constant rate. Okay, so that much of water you should keep it aside for fire demand, for to meet the fire accident. Okay, three stream jets are simultaneously thrown from each fire hydrant. If you see the fire hydrant jet, you see fire hydrant, we have one nozzle for one particular pipe. We have three stream jets are simultaneously thrown from each fire hydrant, one on burning property and one each on adjacent property on either side of the burning property. The discharge of each stream should be 1100 liters per minute. How much they should discharge on that particular burning property? If there is any burning property is there, one building or a hotel. Okay, so on that particular hotel or building, that on the property, the fire hydrant should supply the water with three stream jets with 1100 liters per minute discharge. Okay, the per capita fire demand is generally ignored while computing total per capita demand. Kiloliters of water required equal to 100 into p to the power of 1 by 2. 100 into p to the power of 1 by 2. P equal to population in thousands. We should consider the population in thousands, that is 100 into population to the power of 1 by 2 is nothing but water requirement. Okay, the quantity of water required for firefighting is generally calculated by using different empirical formulas. So we have already, I said in the starting of the session, we use thumb rules and empirical formulas to meet the water demand, especially for firefighting. We use some empirical formulas. Those empirical formulas are Indian conditions. For Indian condition, we use Kuchling formula. Very important for the prospective of ESET, GATE or other public service commission exams. Kuchling formula, Q equal to 31 under root of P. P is nothing but population of town or city in thousands. Okay, P equal to population of town or city in thousands, where Q equal to quantity of the water per liters per minute. Q equal to 3182 under root of P. This is Kuchling formula. Very important. Kuchling formula. Next one is losses and thefts. Okay, losses and thefts. Already I said starting in the starting of the session, we should keep it in our mind. We should consider the losses and thefts. Some people are, I said, as I said, here few people are making hole and collecting the water from this pipeline. Due to some corrosion and leakages, the water is going like this at the junction points or at the valves. Okay, all these things are losses. Few people are making hole and collecting the water. This is nothing but theft. Okay, all the people are fighting for the water. These all are comes under the losses and thefts. You can see in these pictures. Unnecessarily water is flowing like this without any arrestment. Okay. Losses due to defective pipe joints, cracks and broken pipes, faulty valves and fittings, losses due to continuous wastage of water, losses due to unauthorized and illegal connections. While estimating the total quantity of water of a town allowance is 15% of the total quantity of the water. If you see the electricity, in the electricity also we can see the loss. The power production is 100 megawatts, but at the after the it reaches to the consumer, it will become 60 or 70 megawatts. While it is traveling, there are several losses may happen. Same as it is in the water pipeline system. Now suppose from the source you are supplying 100 meter cube per second of quantity or 100 liters of water. Yet finally it reaches only after the losses 85 liters only. The 15% we will consider as a losses and thefts and wastage of water. Okay.